Sharp King here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait. And why do some women lose interest? That's the question that I got from a subscriber. Why do some women lose interest in guys? And sometimes, man, a woman don't necessarily lose interest in a guy. A lot of times, like I said before in the previous video, some relationships just run its course. You know, it's like sometimes some women just got what they wanted out of you and they moved on. Really, and it doesn't have to be sex. It could be some information or knowledge that you knew that she didn't know. It could be confidence. It could, maybe you put her on some game. Maybe you upgraded her. Maybe you made her feel good about herself. It could be anything that the woman feels of value at the time. Anything that she was lacking at the time. And a lot of times when people come in and out of your life, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, or 5 years, mostly it's because they were lacking in some type of way. And see, what happens with a lot of people, they know they're not worth a nickel. They're not worth a dime. So what they'll do, instead of dealing with the problems that they have with themselves, they'll go outward and they'll try to find other people to help them to deal with it. You know, so see, a lot of people don't like looking in the mirror. A lot of people don't like what they see when they look in the mirror. So what they'll do is focus, instead of focusing on what's inside, they'll focus on what's outside, because we've been conditioned to be that way. And this is why people come in and out of your life so fast, especially if you live in a big city. And see, most women that you meet that's like this, they know they ain't worth a nickel. They know it, you know, but they're not going to say that. And if you try to, I guess, have a conversation or try to, you know, work things out with a woman that comes in and out of your life, or if you try to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, why did you do that? I thought you liked me. I thought we were cool. Or, you know, why do you play games like this? If you try to reason with her, it's not going to go well. It's not. Because people that take from people are essentially, they're using people. A lot of women that do this, they don't feel like they're doing anything wrong morally. They don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. If you don't believe me, go out and try it. Try to talk to a woman that, you know, maybe you met, maybe y'all hit it off, and after 3 months, 6 months, she started to put space in between, and eventually y'all just stop talking to each other, stop spending time together. And when time goes by, maybe you might catch her a year or two later, a couple months later, and ask her, hey, what happened with us? Why did you lose interest in me? And if so, why not? If you ask her, you're gonna be surprised what the answer might be. And she's gonna say it in whatever answer she gives, it's gonna be a kind of a self-righteous type of way, kind of selfish, egotistical type of response to your question. You know, I'm telling you. And what happens is, like, this is why I've met women in the past where it's like, I met them, we hit it off, I liked her, and, you know, I turned out to be the guy that they didn't expect. Because a lot of times, a lot of women will say, oh, you surprised me, or whatever. And what that really means is you turned out to be the guy that was much better than they expect. Because a lot of times, a lot of women will peep you from a distance, and they'll say, hey, you know, if I get my hands on him one time, just one night, I'll be surprised. I'll be happy with just that. You know what I'm saying? But if you turn out to be even better than just one night, then that's when a lot of them be like, oh, I was surprised you was like that or whatever. But they still gonna take off and leave in a couple weeks or in a couple months. You know, they still that's still not going to determine whether you're better than the guy that they expect. That's not going to be the determining factor how much time they choose to spend around you, how much time they choose to spend in your life. You know what I mean? So like I said, sometimes certain relationships just runs its course. You know, sometimes if you're a confident guy, if you're a guy that's well-rounded, if you're a guy that's adventurous, sometimes a lot of women just want to feed off that. They want to be around your presence, because a lot of women are very they don't have a lot of they're very insecure, regardless of how you might perceive them to be, regardless of how you think they look. They're very insecure. And you have to understand that a lot of women aren't raised to understand men, because they don't have to, because guys for the most part are chasing women. You know, women do the choosing, but guys do the chasing, and guys pick the woman that they want to get married to. But women, for the most part, they don't really have to. They aren't taught to understand men for the most part. And the women that are taught to understand men usually stick out from the crowd for the most part. You know, so whenever you meet a woman, just don't assume that she's coming from a good space, because, you know, a lot of them get called names, a lot of them get beaten down mentally and even sometimes physically. So they're very insecure about a lot of things, regardless of how you perceive them to look, regardless of how you perceive them from just watching them from a distance, you know. But I tell you what, confidence is king. Confidence is going to last much longer than anything. It's going to last much longer than your looks, your money, your cars, your clothes, your house. Regardless of what you think that's of value to you or even anybody else, confidence is going to last much longer than anything else. So as long as you got confidence, as long as you feel good about yourself, as long as you know who you are as a man or as a person, you'll always be able to be attractive to women. It is what it is. That's just not my opinion. I've seen that before, you know, since I've been living, and it's going to happen when I'm gone, and it happened before I even came in this world. So if you like what you heard, check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/sharpgame. Go get my books. Share this video with anybody in your social media networks. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.